One of the Southern dessert classics is nanner pudding, or banana pudding if you want to be proper about it. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you may remember that I did a copycat version of Paula Deen's nanner pudding. One of the things I like to do when I go into keto reset mode, especially after our holiday season, I'm making dozens and dozens of cookies so I can bring y'all a bunch of cookie recipes. I may want to lose a little bit of weight, so I like to go higher protein. But that doesn't mean I gotta give up my desserts, because I ain't doing that. So today on Southern Keto, I'm gonna show you a new banana pudding recipe that's high protein, sugar-free, gluten-free, diabetic friendly, and all the things you'd expect from my desserts, but with a little higher protein. Stick around. So one of the things I decided to do for the new year this year was to get one of the Keto Chow My Chow surprise boxes every single month. And in last month's box, I got 2 packs of banana keto chow. So what am I gonna do with them? I'm making nanner pudding. Let me show you what you need. The first thing you're gonna need is some banana keto chow. Now, if you don't happen to have any, I'll put a link down below where you can get a discount on some of this. Or if you just don't wanna use the keto chow, you could use whatever protein powder or unflavored protein powder you got laying around, and I'll tell you how to flavor it in a little bit. The first thing I'm gonna add to Old Yeller is 8 ounces of heavy whipping cream. Now, Keto Police, lean in here. It does have a little bit of carrageenan, less than 0.5%, so if that 0.5% of carrageenan causes me to worry, then I probably got bigger fish to fry, so I ain't real worried about that. So I'm just going in with 8 ounces of that. I've got my hand mixer here. I'm just gonna whip this up until it gets to soft peaks, because I'm gonna use this a little bit more. So I don't wanna beat it all the way or it's gonna turn to butter, and nobody wants that. So what do I mean by soft peaks? Well, you can stick your beaters in there and it'll peak up just a little bit, but it's not gonna stand up on its own. And that's what you want, because we're gonna be beating this a little bit more, and we don't want butter pudding. Now I'm gonna add in my 2 packs of keto chow. And my way of thinking for this year is that I was gonna get this surprise box, and then every month I'm gonna make a recipe with one of the flavors that's in there. I got this idea because I did a poll a while back on my page and I asked what kind of keto ingredients you got laying around that you don't really know what to do with. And one of the most popular things was either protein powder or keto chow. So I figure I'll start doing some recipes with these just so you know what to do with them. Even if you don't have the banana or you don't order the banana, you can use any of the flavors that you have and just make a different flavored pudding. Anyway, I did a short on that surprise box this month, but next month I'll show you what's in it and then do a recipe with it too. To this, I'm adding 1/4 cup of my powdered confectioner's sweetener, and I'll leave a link to that video right up above and down in the description. And then I'm going in with some vanilla extract. I'm doing 1/2 teaspoon of that, and it's beaver free. So in that goes. I just like adding vanilla flavor to just about any sweet thing that I make. It just adds such a richness to it. And then also I've got a little banana extract, same stuff that I used in that Paula Deen banana pudding. And I'm also putting 1/2 teaspoon of that in. Now that's optional. If you don't have it, that's fine. It's just gonna make it a little more banana-y. And now ain't nothing to it but to do it. I'm just gonna mix this up. Make sure it's all well incorporated together. That whipped cream is gonna stiffen up a little. Oh yeah, see those little crumbs like that? And you can of course eat it just like that if you'd like to. I wouldn't call it a banana pudding, I'd call it banana chunks. But I'm going in with 8 ounces or 1 cup of almond milk. And hey, Chad, if you don't eat almonds, that's fine. Use another nut milk, use macadamia nut milk. You can use water if you want. I just love almond milk, so that's what I'm gonna use. Then I'll just finish mixing this together and show you what it looks like. And every once in a while, just push the sides down in there, because again, we're not trying to make butter here. We want a nice pudding-y consistency. So I'll just push that right down into there and give it another mix or two. If it's a little too thick for your liking, you just go in, add a little bit more liquid, maybe another 1 or 2 ounces. Just where that cooking thing comes in and knowing what you like yourself. So I'm just gonna mix that up. I like that a little bit better. Got a little bit of liquid in there, so I'm just gonna beat it up one more time and make sure it's good. And that right there is good to me. There's a fine line when you're whipping that cold cream between getting a nice consistency and having a solid chunk of butter. So err a little bit on the side of caution. Now ain't nothing to it but to do it. This is a 4.5 by 6.5 glass container. I use these as storage containers. I'll put a link down below to these too. It's just the perfect size for this one, kind of an odd size, but all I'm gonna do is take this pudding, spoon it right out into here. And if you want it a little thicker, use a little smaller container. If you want it thinner, use a bigger one. Hey, that's up to you. I want mine to look nice and full for serving. Don't tell anybody I use my fingers to get this off in there either. That can be our little secret. Then just smooth it out in here as good as you can. I'm gonna stick it in the fridge for about 30 minutes to get a little bit more firm and puddingy. And I'll show you how I like to finish it once that's done. And I'm just gonna finish this up real simply here. I've got some of these high key wafers. They're like Nilla wafer knockoffs. There's only 2 grams of net carbs in the whole package. I'm not gonna use the whole package, but I'm gonna use some. I got some of this zero sugar Ready Whip I'm gonna put on it. Or you can make your own whipped cream if you want to. But I'm trying to make this one easy. Just throw a little bit of that on top like that. Maybe about 4 of these, just to pretty it up a little. And then crumble some of these right over the top. You can make this as fancy as you want to make it. But I know one thing's for sure, nobody's gonna miss those slimy bananas in there. Now I didn't add any kind of crazy artificial color or natural color to this, but I guess if you wanted to, use like a vegetable-based yellow food coloring. That'll make it look yellowy and maybe you'll be able to fool some folks, but I think once they taste it, they ain't gonna care either way. Now normally I'll taste this stuff at the end, but I did it a little earlier this time because I had to make it look pretty because we're having people over to serve it to. So I'm just gonna taste it right now. Listen, people are not gonna know this is keto. If you want more dessert ideas, make sure you watch this playlist over here. And if you wanna see my other banana pudding video, check this one out right here.